Shout out to the entire LDBC. Welcome to our third segment of LDBC Strong. We got a powerful guest. I told y'all to bring some heat. My man, Fat Boy Fitness was really good. Aaron Brett, Aaron Brooks on deck, man. This is my boy. You know what I mean? He a personal trainer. He's passionate about what he does. Boy, Act calling me right now. Act, we live right now, boy. We live. Um, so we're gonna first of all, pretty much just give me a background on what you do and how long you've been doing it.
Me?
You can hear me?
Yeah, it bleeped out a little bit.
Yo, Aaron,
So just for everybody out there, a little bit of strength and conditioning. So I've worked with athletes, predominantly worked just in a personal training setting for about 15 years. I started back in college, man. I was back in 2004. My degree was in exercise science. So I went to college at the University of Indianapolis. I got my degree in kinesiology. So that's about it. But primarily, man, just a lot of science-based training. I just keep reading and keep reading and keep reading. Because even when I got my degree, it's still every day something new coming out. Every day there's a new
is he
interpretation.
freezing?
There's, it froze a little bit.
It froze a little bit, but he came back.
Yeah, we good?
Yo, the chat. Let me know in the chat if he's freezing or not. Hold on, let me see something. Let me see something.
It's Eddie Hearn again, bro.
Always with these.
Out to
It's like
get you, boy.
the internet waits for me. The internet waits for me to go live to act fugazi. You know
Cause
what I
you be blowing
mean?
up the
It's
internet, bro.
crazy. Weird. You know, that's what it is, man. When you know you do something right when the internet start acting up.
They try to
That
shut
is
you
Right.
down.
crazy. Make sure everything's on the up and up. This Byron, what up, Nitty G? All right, they say they hear you.
All right, okay, good,
Say
good,
they
good.
hear you. All right.
Uh, yeah, but
You go ahead because I couldn't hear you. That was on me.
all right. So to repeat it, man. Been training about yeah, well, let's say 15 years. I almost say so. 15 years. Started back when I was a freshman in college. Got my degree in kinesiology, but the biggest part of the training and the coaching is just recertification, studying, recertification, and study. Man, that's just really what it's about, So as me and you talk, I probably read man 2 to 3 research papers a week because you got to stay up on it, like because you got to know there's just new things coming out every day. Anatomy don't change, but the methods do change. So I
Right,
always say, man, we just got to keep learning.
right. Well, what made you want to be a personal trainer though? Like what drove you in that direction?
It's crazy. So I started working out, man, because I was the littlest dude in the hood, So I always had problems. Everybody was running up on me. So
Right.
I realized my old man was straight up like, look, you ain't gonna get tall, so you better get some muscles. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I started working out, and then that led to boxing and wrestling. And then, my old man, him and my grandma got me a trainer. He's like, he's a mechanic, so he always had there's a right way and a wrong way. Don't guess, just do it the right way. Got me a trainer. So I remember I got a trainer, and I'm like, dang, bro, you get paid to like get people to work out? He like, yeah. And I never even thought about going to college, right? And he like, yeah, you get to go to college, man. And it's actually a new degree called exercise science, man. And I was like, what? Hold on, I can get paid to lift weights? He like, yeah. And so that's where it started off, man. So at 15, I knew what I wanted to do. So when I turned 15, I knew what I was going to school for. I knew what I was going to do. Till then, I ain't want to do nothing. I just was a scrawny, skinny little dude, you know. But yeah, man, start hitting the steel at 11 simply because I was tired of fighting.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Mm. Corey, you got any questions? I don't
Yeah,
want to
man.
hog all of this. You got any questions?
Yeah, actually, I do, man. You said you went to the University of Indianapolis. Are you from Indiana?
Now I'm from Ohio, so I grew up in Ohio, Dayton,
Uh,
Ohio. Then I went to college in Indianapolis.
That's what's up. I live in Indiana. That's why. That's why
Oh, okay, what part?
I'm in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I went
Yep.
to school on
Yep.
the South Side, so all right, yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
As far as the training, man, do you train differently for like, say, someone overweight trying to lose weight, or versus, like if you're training an athlete, is there any differences or?
Man, that's a really good question. So I'm gonna jump into it, but I'm gonna say yes. The short answer is yes, and it depends on the person. To each their own. It depends on where they starting at and how much they know. So to really dig into it, if I got somebody who's overweight, but they understand the gym, so maybe they used to work out, but they fell off, I can move them a little bit faster than somebody who was overweight and never worked out in their life. Because it depends on the base of knowledge. Like if a person don't know what the hell a push-up is, we got to start them. We got to start them real low. So typically, to give you an example, I got a guy I worked with. He was a college football player. He had some injuries. He got out of shape. So my man knows what a treadmill is. That was camera. He knows what a treadmill is. He knows what a push-up is. Knows what a pull-up is. He just don't know why you do it. He deals with a lot of athletes deal with. They don't know why they worked out. Their coach gave them a sheet. They did the sheet so they could play sports. There was no rhyme or reason to them. They just did what was on the sheet, turned it in, and left. So that person, yeah, I can move them a little bit faster. We can move into some things. I can start them, on a 3 to 4 day a week program. Now, if I got somebody who's out of shape and are overweight or both, and no gym experience at all, a lot of times when we look at a lot of the clinical literature, starting them at once, maybe twice a week is the best thing for them. Their body just can't handle it. You got somebody who's 55 years old, they never did a squat. They can't even sit on the toilet the right way, right? You gonna give them some dumbbells, man. If making them squat 3 times a week, we could jack the knees
Yeah.
up, tear the back up, tear a muscle. So we may say, man, he only working out once a week, but compared to what he was doing before, he's light years ahead.
Right.
So
Right.
you just gotta really start at the bottom and work your way up. Number one, for people's health, and two, for legalities. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna run into no legal issues. You know what I mean? Because you can't hurt nobody in the gym. It's about building them up. So, like I said, the short answer is yes, but it just really varies on who you're dealing with and what you got.
That's what's up. Um, Also, another question I'm thinking, let's say you are dealing with, like, say, an athlete or whatever, somebody that you're trying to, high school athlete, maybe in the summer or
Mhm.
off season, that you're trying to get to the next level. Is it straight balls to the wall?
Um,
Like, I know you don't want, I know you can't give us an example of a workout, but you know what I'm saying? I know it's
uh,
hard.
so depending on the sport, the short answer that I'm gonna jump into because I hate people give me short answers too. The short answer is it depends on the sport that the athlete does and how well they've taken care of themselves and did they get an injury in the season. So all
Did
those
it
intangibles
freeze?
matter. Nah, I'm good.
I can hear him.
You good? Yeah, it's on my end.
Okay,
It's on
so
my end.
assuming this athlete's okay, followed everything, it depends on
Ack, what up?
like it depends what oh it depends on what the sport is offering. So I had an example. I had a basketball player, uh, not a real tough contact sport, but yeah, he wanted to play at the next level. So we did a lot of plyos and a lot of sprint, a lot of sprint work, a lot of plyometric work. Not a lot of weightlifting because he was a small guy. He was a guard. He didn't play like center or power forward or nothing like that, right? I got a football player. Well, that's a contact sport, so we got to get you beat down because the sport is beating you down. So it's more appropriate to push them a little bit harder because you're getting tackled every play, or you tackling
Right.
somebody, and then you getting hit in practice. So we gotta look at that. What me and Drew was talking about last week though, the biggest thing, and I'm glad you asked this question, is we got to figure out the condition of the athlete.
Right here. I don't know what the hell's
We got
going
to
on.
see. where
So
they're at.
the
You know what?
assessment,
Y'all
I'll
chop
the
it
use
up.
initial.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
yeah, yeah, I can hear you. But
All right.
So
Y'all
the
the
keep
biggest
chopping. I'm gonna try
initial.
and fix it on my end. All right. Y'all go
okay,
ahead. Keep
All right, that's
chopping it
cool.
up. I'm gonna try and fix it on my end.
That's cool.
all
So
right,
basically, your initial assessment of the athlete determines where you go from there.
yeah. And
Gotcha.
the biggest thing, bro, is he or she about that life? Are they tough? You
Got
know what
yeah.
I
You
mean?
can't
Like
teach that.
some people just don't got it in them, and if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. I can't give it to you. You gotta have it.
Yeah, I
So
got
we got to figure out where they at. I mean, I done trained some tennis players who was tougher than wrestlers, and I thought that shocked me. You know what I mean? Like,
you.
I got a tennis player. He was ready to go fight 5 rounds. I got a guy who wrestled. He's scared of contact. Like, bro, you do wrestling. You get choked for a living. You scared of contact. So it depends on what that athlete is made of. But the biggest thing, the biggest thing we have to look for in strength and conditioning is when I talk about the physical condition of the athlete. Like, case in point, I was having this discussion with two wrestling coaches and a boxing coach, and I said, "Why do you guys make your guys run so much?" And they're like, "Well, it gets them in shape, it gets them condition." We can argue that up and down because that's a right answer and a wrong answer. But I said to them, "They got bad knees and they got bad feet, and you keep running them. So what good is it to injure an athlete to have them in really good shape? I'd rather you be in a little less condition, but actually be able to move." So we can only push the athlete as far as their body will go. I would never ever have a program that's balls to the walls for more than 8 weeks straight. Now, I've done 8 weeks of hardcore work, had a 2 week regression period, and back to the 8 weeks. But you got
Mhm.
to have a drop off at the end of 8 weeks because what happens
Okay.
is the body will start to break down. Um, in the most extreme cases, you have some people who can do the 12 and 16 week training camps, but we can do 8 weeks, take a 2 week dry period, come back for 8 more weeks, and we every time we do that 8 week cycle, we'll get better.
That's what's
If
up.
you
Yeah, because
stretch it, you take a risk.
I've
So
heard some
I like to
boxing
play it safe.
camps. I heard some boxing camps can last up to like 12 weeks or between 8 and 12 weeks. So that sounded about right. On what I'm saying on the boxing tip, I heard some of the boxing camps are that
Yeah,
long.
and 12. And remember, they about that life, and also maybe the first 3 weeks was just getting their body ready.
Hmm. Yep, yep. All right, now let's say just
You there?
training. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It's
I
cutting
can
in and
see.
out.
All right, can you hear me now? I can't hear nobody.
Yeah, you hear me?
I can hear. I heard you right then. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, come on now. Speak with it now.
Okay, I see Drew.
Speak with it. I can hear you a little bit. It's coming in pieces.
All right,
Look,
can you
yeah,
hear
I see.
me?
It look like it's back. Hmm. Let me see. Who's this?
All right, I see him.
You me? How's that?
I barely heard it.
All right. I'm trying to is that better?
It cut in and out. I heard you ask, was it better? But
There we go. Am I better?
Yes.
I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you too.
That's better?
Uh, yeah,
That's
I can
better?
hear it.
All
All right,
right.
okay.
That's better.
But yeah, so just it really depends on, you know, what I say, the athlete's mentality, where
Hmm.
they're at in their current condition, and then just how badly their body is or isn't. If an athlete is injured, we can train through the wall, but we got to train around that injury. Um,
Right.
so when we see things like I said, I got a lot of stubborn wrestling coaches and boxing coaches who run guys 6, 7 miles a day, and I'm like, well, he's 25, he's been running 6 miles a day since he was 11, you know, and gravity wins. So now we got to start thinking about a spin bike and a jump rope. Or you got this dude who played football, he 6'5", 285, and you talking about he need to run. Well, running's a sport for a reason. They coach the form of running. It's a sport. If you run wrong, you're gonna get hurt. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Or I got guys like, man, I got a bad shoulder. Well, why you gotta do an overhead press? Well, you gotta be strong overhead. Well, I would rather say, hey, I'd rather be a little bit deficient in an area of strength, but have you be able to move. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Once a guy
Right.
can't move, he done. Once a guy can't use his arm, he done. So for an athlete, man, he looked great. He looked straight, but you blew his shoulder out. Like, well, you get what I'm saying? So we got to make some sense in the training. And man, there's no right or wrong answer. I could look at something you're doing, and be like, man, he's doing that wrong, but I don't know that he got an inflamed elbow. So you had to
Right.
change his form. But you got the form police to be like, hey man, he did that wrong. Yeah, but he dealing with that bad elbow. But only his trainer knows that. And you ain't gonna make that public, especially you don't want to tell everybody your athlete hurt, Or man, he said he didn't run in training camp. Yeah, because his coach know he broke his foot. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta
Right.
work
Right. Right.
around that. So that's why when I hear like in MMA or in boxing, they be like, yeah, he didn't do this, he didn't do that in training camp. That's weird. I'm thinking from a strength coach standpoint, oh, he hurt. Something got hurt. And what that coach did was smart is, all right, we're gonna work around that. So, and that's why I say I don't be. That's why when I see certain things I don't understand, I don't say nothing because you don't know. Like you said, if you did an assessment on an athlete, that's a private conversation. They didn't tell me; they told you.
Right.
So that's the ultimate thing. Where's the athlete at in their development? Because if they jacked up, they jacked up.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying, man. So, like, some of the things, like in your line of work, like, what things that you love to see, what things that you can't stand to see from like a client.
Man, I do. The one thing I don't like from a client is lack of commitment. Lack of commitment. I don't deal with it much anymore, and the reason why is because now I'm a little more tenured in my career, and I tell people, "Hey, look, either come to the table ready to work, or you got to move because I got somebody who want that spot." But
Right.
it took me a while to get there,
Right.
so I don't have to deal with that much anymore. I dealt with that earlier in my career because I had to make money, so I had to bring in all type of people. Now I tell people, if you don't hustle, I'm gonna get you a new trainer. I'm not renewing you. You gotta go train somewhere else because this is how I eat. All right. And imagine if both of y'all sitting there and your son, your old lady, your mom, or whoever is shopping a trainer and you see me in the gym and none of my clients ever get better. What you gonna tell your kid or whoever? Man, we ain't shopping with him, man. So I tell them, it is in my best interest that you get in shape
Right.
the fastest way possible, the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I make way more money in the end the faster I service somebody. Stringing people along, that works a little bit. It'll maintain your book, what you have. But if I trained your son and he had the commitment and he got there in 12 weeks, what you gonna tell all your neighbors? Bro, 12 weeks he got my son right. So number
That's
one
right.
thing is commitment. That's the number one thing. You can't commit, I can't deal with you. Because you gotta have that.
That's
Bro,
right.
the best thing I love to see, and it's man, just in my experience, is number one, like my fellas is cool, but helping women lose weight. Bro, there's nothing like when you see one of your female clients hit the scale and they 20 pounds lighter and they just break down crying. Like
Yeah.
break down
Yeah.
crying. Like damn. And it's like now I'm a dad and I got a daughter, so it's before when I was younger, I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to touch them, right? I don't, what are they doing? But now, man, I feel it, man. It's cool because when you get somebody who, especially man, think about being a woman who's overweight. Everyone's called you every type of name in the world,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everyone said you couldn't do it. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like dudes, you can be a big boy, but they run up on the big boys, but women get the brunt of it more.
Yeah.
And man, to see them lose that weight, man, I tell you, damn, that's one of the best things you ever see, man. because they all cry. They cry. It's tears of joy, and that's the coolest thing, man. And with the men, it's usually my older guys. I got a guy 83 years old, man. 83 years
Wow.
old. And he said, hey, he said, man, I was out dancing, and he do salsa merengue, he do country line dance and
Right.
everything, right? He said, man, I was dancing with this lady who was about 55. I was holding my own. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, think about it, because we all gonna be old one day. My man's still chopping it up. And I'm like, yeah, you know. So that's why I say I love that stuff, man. And just seeing that, man, like, 83 getting it, man. In the club, in the salsa club. So that's what that's the two things I like seeing, man.
That's what's
That's
up,
what's
man.
up.
We all trying to get there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't hear. I think Corey, you said your heaviest at one point was 324.
I was 346, man,
Yeah.
and I'm down to
Bro,
like I
my man,
was. I
that
had
boy
to get
moved.
on it.
Damn, you moved mountains, bro. You moved some.
Yeah,
Oh man, like I ain't
yeah,
never been out of shape. I tell people that I've never been out of shape. You know, and so I don't know what it's like. I don't try to be them trainers like I know it. Nah, man, I've been hitting the weight since I was
It's
11, bro.
tough.
I've been in shape my whole life, right? So I don't ever jump in your skin and act like I know. That's why, bro, I be down there crying when I see people lose 100 pounds. Man,
yeah,
like
yeah.
one dude, I don't even train. He lost 60 pounds. I gave him a hug. He's somebody else client. I just gave him a hug, bro. Like that's what's up. Because
Yeah,
it's hard.
that's a lot of weight.
It's hard,
Yeah, it
man. It's
is.
hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Aaron, we met via social media. You saw my old pictures.
Yeah, yeah. What I start doing
My
when you start losing,
heaviest.
I said, bro, I see you, I see you, I see you. But
Yeah,
here's
man.
what's up. What you did, you messaged me. You said, bro, this is coming off. And you know what I said? I said, man, we gonna see. We gonna see.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
The next
yeah.
46 posts, my man was squatting. Right. Like, I said, oh,
Yo,
okay, he with it. He was serious. Like, and it's just
oh
it looked
God,
like
man.
it looked like you just melted butter off your body, bro. If you look at these pictures, it just came down. Like
That's why I
just
tell, but yo, I tell people go to my gram and scroll down. You'll see some shit.
it just
Never mind
changed. Like
yo,
I
man.
mean,
Never
I was
mind
like,
the new shit. Yeah. A lot
it,
of it now is muscle memory, man, because this is a high school physique for me now.
so taking what you talk about back to the point you asked earlier, right? So
Mhm.
if Drew walked in, was an athlete, had some injuries, said, man, I got a little lazy, right? We can move
Yep.
him faster if it was the same person who never worked out, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you had never worked out, it'd have been a little bit harder. We got to move you a little bit slower
Right.
because he don't even know what a push-up is, right? He don't know what a squat. He can't squat nothing. At
Right.
least you came in, you knew what not to do. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And
Yes.
so you conceptually had some idea. So this is why I will say, for those people who are not gym people who are overweight, I'm a little bit lighter on the commitment side with them because they have no clue what they're doing.
Mhm.
It hurts like hell, and they've never been sore in their life. See, if we all grew up playing sports, we know what it's like to be sore. If you've never been athletic in your life, and then you're overweight, and chances are you might be getting a little sick, man, you don't know what it's like to be sore, so you think you're dying. And
Yeah.
so that's why I say the process then moves slower because they're not about the life because they ain't tough. They're not about the life because they just don't know.
Mm.
So that's why you got to move them slower.
Yeah. Yeah. I took it slow. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I got so mad. I got in the gym and I said, "Yo, fuck that." I jumped on that treadmill. I put it on like 8. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. I was like, chill. I was like, relax. Let me start up on a 3.5, and then
Yeah.
3 months later, it was on a 6 and on a 7. Then I took off about 40 pounds, and I was like, my ankles and knees feel good. And then I rediscovered the jump rope.
Yeah. Woo. That
That's why.
worked,
That's
baby.
why I hit you up.
Yeah.
That worked.
I hit
Yeah.
you up. I was like,
That
I was
worked,
like, yo,
baby.
you get that jump rope. I was like, all right. So I rediscovered the rope, and yo, did I tag you in that jump rope group yet?
Yeah. I ain't been posting a lot of my stuff. I got to put more of my stuff up, man. I ain't been posting too much. I got to
Yo,
post more
there's
of my own
some.
stuff.
Yo, let me tell you, the sisters in there. Holy
Getting it.
cow, man!
I seen it.
They,
I seen it.
oh my God, man.
I seen it.
I thought I was getting my shit back. I said, yo,
Hey,
what are they doing? They
yeah, I
crossing
can't.
over.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I ain't with it on that. I'm gonna try, but I ain't gonna post it.
Yeah. I be practicing. Like on my days
Yeah,
off, I'll be up in the gym
yeah,
and we got like a rubber mat. So I just be turning, trying to, I still smack
yeah.
myself upside the head dozens of times, but I feel good, man. And a couple of days ago, went to the other gym, I did some shadow boxing in the ring. It felt good. You know,
Yeah,
I ain't gonna spar.
yeah, I'm
I ain't
with
gonna
you. I ain't gonna spar no more. At least I had to recommit myself, but I still do my jump rope and I still do my shadow
yeah.
box, my shadow drill. But I'm a retired athlete. I ain't finna get out there and get busy with nobody. These muscles just for
Nah,
show
I
now.
remember sometimes like I'll do some light sparring, but it don't take much to be reminded that I'm be 44 years old. I'd be like,
Yeah.
whoa,
I ain't finna
Right,
go
sometimes
out
right,
there and
right.
spar with no dude 21. I ain't about he ain't finna be
nah,
hitting
nah,
me.
nah, not 121. Not with act
Just
was
one
trying
round.
yo, act
Yeah.
trying to get a title shot next year.
Yeah. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
get a
hell
six pack. Yeah.
All right.
Yo, Rob
Yeah.
Stewart said he had to jump rope since junior year in high school when he wrestled. I'm saying get back on it, Rob. Get back on
Hey,
it. You never know, man.
I would say to him, you jump rope in wrestling because it got you in shape for wrestling. Remember that. That's a good conditioning tool. Only thing I would say now is get a little mat or something to jump on, or like maybe a public basketball court, one of the wood courts, just flex floors or something like that. Because you don't want to jack the knees, ankles, and toes up, man. We all got to go to work in the morning, so
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Yeah.
Jump roping on concrete, not the best thing.
nah. So, Aaron, let me ask you, how has your line of work affected your personal life? Like, how does it has it harmed you? Has it helped you?
And
What are the benefits?
it's helped me, and the reason why it's helped me stay disciplined. And I live a realistic life, but I live at the same time with discipline. So what I mean, I can enjoy the pleasures of life. Okay, I can go have a couple beers, drink alcohol. People say, "Do you go out to eat?" Yeah. You just live by certain rules. I don't get wasted. I have a drink or two, right? When I drink alcohol, I choose to drink it lighter. I drink it with ice and water. So give a specific example. I drink bourbon, I drink scotch. I do in a tall glass, I do 2 shots, fill it with ice and fill it with water, right? I still get the drink. People say, oh, it's a weak drink, but we have to understand your lifestyle. Like you still, at the end of the day, want to be generally healthy, but you want to go out and have a drink or two. So you got to
Right.
make that decision. When I go out to eat, I post cheat meals. I only have 1 or 2 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I'm cooking. You see me on the ground or anything, I'm posting what I'm cooking. I'm always cooking. Always cooking my food because you got to control what's in your food. You can eat the same food at home, but if you go out and buy it, and it's not demonizing restaurants, understand that they got to preserve meat because they have to keep it sanitary. So they have to put
Mm-hmm.
preservatives in the meat. When it's your
Right,
house, it's your home, you're responsible for it, so it's not so much. You got to
right,
cook your food. I would make the rule 85% of the food you eat, you cook, you be fine. You know? So those are things, man, that's really helped me out. Made my just having this discipline made things easier for me, you know. Because I still get to have fun, but the fun has limits. Everything should have limits. So that's what people are like, man, I just can't. When I go out and drink, I can't stop. Well, brother, you got a bigger problem than fitness, my man.
that's right.
You got a drinking problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's
Or
right.
man, when I see the food, I just eat. Well, bro, you a glutton. You need to work on that.
You
You
gotta
know what I'm
work on
saying?
it.
So we, those are the things that I feel like it's giving me discipline and giving me ground. I done been out chopping it up with the boys, watching some fights, and I get a drink and I stop and go, ah, it was too many. And I say, all right, that's it. I'm done. Because I
Right,
still remember this. I gotta go to the gym tomorrow. I gotta work out tomorrow.
right.
Right. That's
I remember my purpose. I know what my purpose is. My wrestling coach is like, what's your purpose, man? If your purpose is to be a good wrestler, he said the same thing that B Hop be saying. Be a wrestler all year. You should never be more than 15 pounds overweight in the off season.
That's right.
So now I don't do sports no more, but I remember my purpose. I want to age beautifully. I want to age Well, I still want to drink them beers at the bar, so I ain't gonna drink 30. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I still want to go out and have a drink, but I ain't gonna take
Right,
19 shots. You know what I mean?
right, right,
I'm gonna
right.
take me 2 shots, put it in a tall glass, and sip it slow. My behaviors have been in check because I always know my purpose: staying healthy.
That's
So it's
right.
always help.
Right. Speaking of
All right,
drinking,
Aaron.
King Louis, I see you. Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, you got any advice for like a maybe an aspiring trainer? You know, I know a few people. I've been asked several times. I don't know whether I should dabble in it, but it seems interesting. You got any advice
Yes,
for
know
someone?
anatomy. You have to know anatomy. Have to know anatomy. It starts with muscles. The physiology part, learning about the ins and outs of nutrition. Hell, I don't know the ins and outs of nutrition. I don't know everything about the chemical processes of the human body. I get that, but you got to know muscles and what they do. I always tell people who call me and they say I'm shopping a trainer. Ask that trainer to name 6 muscles, 6, and what those muscles do. Because think about it, right? If I'm training your mother, right, and I don't know 6 muscles and what they do, I'm gonna hurt her. I just got her doing stuff because I think it's cool, right? So if she tell me
Right.
she got a bad shoulder, I don't know shit about the shoulder. I'm gonna make her do push-ups. You know what I'm saying? No basic anatomy. If you don't know anatomy, you're gonna suck at training. You can't train without knowing anatomy because you have to understand what muscles do, where they are, and how they function. Then everything else for that, man, you just learn based on the cases that come to you. You got a guy who got an ACL tear. Study about ACLs. That's how I did it. And you got a guy with a tibial fracture. Well, what was that? Okay, damn, look that up, figure that out. Okay, reach out to somebody. Hey, man, how do I do this? So that's why I say know basic anatomy and know when to refer out. Those are the 2 things you got to know. If you know the muscles and you know how the body works on the basic level, you're good. And know who's a medical patient and who's a training patient. Guy
Okay.
walks in and you,
Explain that.
yeah. So this is the legal side of it. Somebody walk in, he said, man, I really threw my back out. And I do a lot of table stretching. I said, okay. I'm asking him questions. Do you have any metal in your back? He says, actually, yeah. I got a cage around my lumbar. I said, okay, I got to stop the assessment right here. You got to go get a clearance before you can come back to the gym. He said, what? I said,
Gotcha.
yeah, you got metal in your spine. You're complaining of pain. You could just be tight, or you could have dislodged one of the screws. But you need to go get it. They're probably. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a medical professional, but you need to go see somebody. And before you come back and see me, I need a clearance form.
Gotcha.
That was a medical patient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got
Somebody
you.
walk in, he says, I have no issues, no nothing. He signs off. Well, based on what he told me, now he's a training patient. Now let's say that training patient, this has happened too. I did 3 stretches with a guy. I said, listen, man, we've done 3 stretches, okay? And if we've done 3 stretches over the last 10 days and your back pain has not alleviated, I have to say, I can't legally diagnose it, but I have to say I think it's a bone issue, not a tissue issue. So you need physical therapist or you need a chiropractor. But what you can do is, and this has happened, it helped me out in business a lot. They would say, hey, I stretched with this guy, Aaron, man. And he says, after 3 stretches, man, it didn't get any better. He told me to come in here, get an assessment. Every time the doctor or the therapist called me back, hey, who's this Aaron guy at the gym? Every time. I get on the
That's
phone, they go,
that's
the
what's
last
up.
guy called me, says, I'm glad you did that, man. He had a slip disc. But the stretches you did with him were good. I'm glad you didn't rotate him because he was in pain. But the stretches you did were good. When he gets done with his treatment, I'm going to send him back to you.
That's what's up.
So
Gotcha.
that's
So
why
just
who's a medical patient, who's a training
That
patient.
that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And there's legal stuff behind that. And as a personal trainer,
And
I think that's something you should know.
and
Yeah,
to cut in, that's why you have to know basic anatomy. If you don't know basic anatomy, you'll never know how to assess a medical patient from a training patient.
that's real talk, man.
Yeah,
That's real talk,
because
man. And
you
I
will
never
get
thought that.
sued.
A lot of people.
You will get sued.
Yeah,
And then from a business
yeah,
standpoint, you don't want to be incompetent because they train with you. You didn't ask them questions. They go to the therapist. They go, "Who the hell trained you?" "Oh, Aaron over at so and so gym." You know what that therapist does? It tells everyone in their clinic, "Do not go near that guy."
mhm.
that's right. That's right.
And then in
Right.
most states, if the doctor says stop training and calls you for negligence, you got to refund them.
Wow.
That could be thousands of dollars, man.
Yeah, you got to get that money. In most
Wow.
states, it's
I
right.
don't
You got
want
to
to
get
give
that
back
money back.
$10. I
Yeah,
don't want to
in
give back
Florida, I
$10.
got to give a percentage back. So if the doctor says, "Hey, man, if your doctor says this Aaron got jacked him up, man, I got to give you a percentage of your money back, and I got to cancel your membership, everything, and I at no charge."
Mm.
Wow.
So
It's
you
money
want to
out your
stay on the
pocket,
good
man.
side. But if I sent you to
Yeah,
your doctor, he'll be like, "Hey, that's a good guy. Go back to him."
that's more money in pocket instead of losing money. That's more money, man.
And
That's
they
Right.
actually got and they got better. And when they get better, they gonna tell 30 people, "Man, my back was jacked up, man. Man, dude done sent me to the therapist. I was there for a couple weeks, man. I worked with him for 6 months. I feel great now."
Yeah.
So that's
That's
yo.
what
what's
you
up.
Listen,
want, man.
listen, you
Gotta have
guys in the chat. If you don't believe what this brother's saying, he's gonna leave his Instagram. Go subscribe to Aaron on Instagram. He has all his clients up there. They all stretching. They all working out. The 80-year-old gentleman, I seen him.
it.
This is solid stuff,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And
I
I like to
told you
teach on
guys,
social
I'm
media
bringing the
too.
heat.
Yeah, I like to teach too, man. So I didn't want the and I was coached this way. I wasn't naturally smart, but I was coached into my social media shows the how and the why. I put anatomy charts next to the exercises. I try to put why we doing it, so you
Mhm.
understand that, with exercise is about the order of operation. I can take the same 4 exercises, but if I group them differently based on the capabilities and based on where that person want to be, we can get different results.
That's right.
So once again, that goes back to just understanding anatomy. Once you know the muscles, you know what they're doing, we good. You come in the gym and say, "Man, my leg hurt. Which one?" "I hurt my right calf." "Okay, cool. I can train around that. I just won't touch it." We can do everything but that.
Gotcha.
That's what's up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So communication is definitely a key when dealing
Oh
with.
man, you have to, man. You have to. You have to. I mean, cause think if I was training your son, your mother, your daughter, and I wasn't giving them that service, what you gonna say? "Man, quit paying him."
Right.
I work for them.
Right. That's right.
So I work for them. Like if somebody was painting your house, you better paint the house the way you tell them to, or you gonna tell them, "I ain't paying you," right? Same thing
Right.
with
Right.
training. I work
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah. I got a question because me and Corey been on here. We talked about diet a lot. We talked about what we used to eat, all the bad stuff. So I noticed you meal prep a lot.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for someone? I don't know if you're a dietitian or not, but someone with hypertension, someone with diabetes, pre-diabetes or whatever.
hmm hmm
What would you add to their meal prep within like a period? And what
Cool.
wouldn't you put in?
So the specific diet, because I don't want to give you a bullshit answer, so I'm gonna give you the specific diet is gonna depend on economics, culture, religion, all that stuff, right? So let's say we got to consider all that, right? Some people eat pork, some people don't, some people eat fish, some people don't, so we go through all that, right? And the food allergens. So you got to know all that.
Right.
Now, the type of diet, and the reason why I'm gonna say type, because we can build this a million different ways, okay? But when we look at referring back to clinical research, so I don't do research, but I read it, okay? So we talk about
Time out.
published.
Time
Yeah.
out. Time out. Time out. Joseph Brown. It's not it's not Aaron Brooks on IG. It's exercise science, right?
Exercise underscore science underscore 561.
You'll see it. We'll find it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me see. Can I leave it in there? I don't think I can leave it in there yet. So I would for them based on the amount of research that we have, right? And I'm talking about globally and what they're doing in the clinical sectors. A low carb, high fat diet, not a no carb diet, a low carb diet. And what that means is it's a ratio. You're going to consume a lower amount of carbohydrates and a higher amount of fats. Okay. An example would be, all right, I'm going to kick the rice off. I'm going to add 2 ounces to the chicken and put avocado with it. Right. And then throw
Mm-hmm.
some greens, but I'm going to get rid of the rice. I did not eat carbs. I just ate a lower amount of carbs and a higher amount of fat. Does that make sense?
Now I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Hold on, my son
That
here.
makes
Come here.
sense.
Yeah. You just want to be known. Look, y'all want to see what I'm doing? Look, say everybody what's up.
Hey, there you go.
Say what's up.
Hey.
You just want to see what I'm doing, boy. You good, boy? You good? Yeah.
Should I sit after her show or go take a nap?
You good, man? You all right? My daughter. Now, come here. You want to be? Come here. You don't want to be on here with your messed up hair? Come here. This is my.
There she is.
All right,
She
get on out of
got
here. I
a
gotta
six
finish
pack, man.
this.
She got the six
All
pack.
right, all right, y'all get out.
Yeah.
Look,
Watch this.
all right, man, get on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go. Yeah, they had to. One. They had to be nosy, boy.
Uh-huh.
But no. So, and what that means is, okay, your carbohydrate consumption has to come down because if you're a diabetic, you don't do very well controlling carbohydrates. And for everybody out there, I am not saying carbs are bad. Carbs are good. Carbs are good for you. What happens is when you become diseased, sick, or have some type of medical trauma, you stop your body's ability to digest carbohydrates. That doesn't mean that they're bad for you. Okay. That's how carbohydrates create blood plasma. Okay. So carbs are not bad. I'm saying it again. But when you're dealing with a person who has these issues, they don't metabolize carbohydrates very well. So that's why we need to have a low carb diet, not a no carb diet. Okay. Lower consumption of carbohydrates, a higher amount of fats, and those fats can be based animal or non-animal. We can build it for whoever. If I'm sitting down with a traditional Rastafarian, I can build a low carb, high fat diet. It's a vegan. If you're a pescatarian, I can build it just using food. So that's why I said it depends on the culture, religion, economics, and environment and all that stuff. But for most people, we're looking at just research from several different think tanks, several different universities, so not just one spot. Most human beings respond well to a low carb, high fat diet. So that's why I
Right.
would start there. That's just the basic research. There's going to be outliers everywhere else, but for the most part, most people respond with a low carb, high fat diet.
So that's a great place to start.
Great place to start, and it's based on actual research. You can go to Google Scholar, y'all. So go to Google, type in Scholar, and type in low carb, high fat diet, and you can pull up research papers after research paper. So not just my opinion, not just something we think. Stanford University, Ohio State University, Michigan University, Harvard School of Public Health, all these people are saying the same thing. So get incredible research from actual nutrition. So that's what I would think. Start there because you got a higher percentage of success.
Yeah, I hope y'all getting all these gems, man. I mean, this is free information. This is free information, man, from a professional, man. I told you I'm gonna bring this heat, man. We gotta stay healthy, man. I mean,
Gotta
come
be.
on, man. We listen.
I personally use that summer diet.
Oh, you do? Okay, so is that what you
Yeah,
use doing your weight loss?
yeah, that's what I use to
Okay.
lose the weight. And when I was doing it, at first I noticed that my energy, what I'm saying, for not having the carbs was kind of low. But but that's when I was kind of doing like the more of like the Atkins type of diet with no
Okay.
carbs, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But once I added a little bit of carbs, like around maybe 40 to 60 grams. I try not to. I don't go over 100. I don't. You know what I'm saying. But I try to stay between around that 60 mark. I'm pretty good. You know what I'm saying. I pretty much stay there. As
Okay,
far
I'm
as
seeing the
carbs.
question. Kales, C? Yes, I do. I do have a degree in exercise science from from the University of Indianapolis.
That's dope. I didn't even know that. That's dope.
They kicked him off.
You did? Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me see what happened.
yeah. Damn YouTube.
Let me see. Kick him over. Well, he'll come back. He's gonna come right
Yep,
back.
yep. That's good information,
He'll
bro. I
come
like
right
it.
back. Wait, the device is not connected. Well, he'll come right. There you go.
There you go. My fault.
Mhm.
I heard something fall. I thought one of the
Sorry.
kids and did something, man. But no, yeah, I got my degree. I got my degree in exercise science. But
DOG 215. What's good, family?
Okay. All right, I'm back. Yeah. Yeah, I did that degree in exercise science at the University of Indianapolis. So.
Good,
That's what's up.
good. King Louis, what up, baby? What up, baby? Yes, sir. GG, salute. What's good, man? Yeah, something else I want to ask you. All right. Very, very generic question. Because a lot of people ask me, what are you doing? What did you do? Whatever. And like we spoke before, I was like, I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not licensed to give any real advice. I can only tell you what worked for me. One thing that did work for me is that I had to bring my carbohydrate intake way down because, like me and Corey discussed, like last week I was talking about what I ate in a day, and Jesus Christ, I had to consume about 10,000 calories in a day. Easy. Just a review for those that didn't know. Let me give you the fast story. Got up in the morning, ate a whole box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. All right? So already I'm messing up. A whole box by myself. Whole box.
Oh, come on.
It's dog. Whole box by myself. All right?
I would have threw a spoon at you, man. What's wrong with you?
Oh no, it get better. It gets better. It gets
Yo,
better.
it gets
Oh,
better.
man.
It gets better. It gets better. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch, right? Then I got the nerve to go outside, right? I'm outside and oh, this is embarrassing. All right. 2 beef patties, right? 1 piece of cocoa bread. I go outside and I see the Frankfurter guy, right? And I said, how much is your knish? I buy a knish. So I got a patty and cocoa bread here. I got the knish here. I made him cut the goddamn knish in half, put the beef patty in between the knish. So I got 2 sandwiches now, right? And I put ketchup in it. So now I'm on some fat nigga shit and I'm just eating it, right? Eat that, right? Drove around for a little while, handled my business, and I was outside for more than maybe 2 hours. Then I got the nerve to double back, go to Wendy's. All right. Baconator, you know what I mean? 2 chicken wraps, big old fucking fruit punch, fries, and I ate 10 chicken nuggets. Now stop right there. I should be dead. Right there, I should be dead.
Yeah.
All right. Got better. It gets better. Right? I go home, right? Now I'm talking, you know how I do. I'm talking shit boxing online. Killing time because me and my boys gonna hang out that night, right? Got a big old picnic bag of Doritos by the computer.
Oh,
so now
Smash.
so now I'm
bro, I'm
snacking on the
sweating.
Doritos.
I'm sweating thinking of
I'm snacking on the Doritos while typing. So now I broke a sweat because you know how I get with the boxing. So I'm typing. Right? I'm sweating like I'm working out, eating Doritos. Stick my hand in the bag, all the Doritos gone. I ate on the picnic size bag, gone. Now eating Doritos is you ain't gonna get full off of that. Go back outside, meet up with my boy, right? We out doing something. He's like, yo, I'm hungry. Stop at the pizza shop. Well, I had some pizza. 2 slices of pizza. All right. Not done. Not done. Yeah. It gets worse. We go out that night, right? So we had a lounge. 3 Coronas with lemon, right? Had some finger foods in there. Had some hot wings. I don't know how many I ate. Ate the hot wings. We coming back home, right? It's 1, 2 in the morning. What's open at 1, 2 in the morning out here? New York, White Castle.
Oh, stomach ache in a bag,
All
boy.
right? Now watch this. You ready for this? 10 cheeseburgers with extra ketchup, a sack of chicken rings, large lemonade.
Bro,
8
you
it all.
had this is you like a drunk college kid right now. Like this is a
Wow.
drunk college
That's
kid.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like you that dude who kept leaving the party and coming back.
Heck, come on.
yeah.
He
Hey, that
kept
was
leaving the
a
party and coming back with food.
hey
Damn.
E, that was $100 night, man.
Oh man,
Yo,
just on the food. Oh,
yo,
bro,
check
you
it
got me
out.
Yeah,
crying over here.
Everything I
yeah.
ate. Oh, I forgot the mozzarella sticks. But everything I
Damn.
ate,
$10.
I didn't spend more than maybe $25 that night, which
Wow.
speaks a
That's
lot
even
about the
wow.
health of our community. It was cheap to eat like that. Now, I'm sitting on my couch after consuming all of that shit, and I'm like, yeah, my head hurt. Why my head hurt? Why my head hurt? Am I stupid?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no problem. Go pop a pill. I'll be all right. Lay down on that, get heartburn. You know,
yeah.
you got to be honest with yourself. And when I sat back and I said, yo, that had to have been like 10,000 calories that day. The whole time I was awake, had to have been, maybe more. So when you sit back and there's people doing that shit daily, it's no wonder we got a problem in this country with obesity. You know, people dying. Like on my job, cats be retiring at 50 years old, going home 6 months later and dying. You look at their ID picture when they got hired by New York Transit, they were 170 pounds. When they retired, they're 370 pounds.
That's crazy.
You
So
know,
let
and
me
they
dig.
pay good money out here.
Let me dig on that. We're gonna have a nerd moment real quick. I'm gonna explain what that happens, right? So having a day like that, and what I want to say is number one for people out there. I'm about to kind of go through explaining, but I ain't knocking nobody. I ain't talking down on nobody, and because there may be some people who listen who in this era right here, and I ain't dissing you. Okay, we got to start.
Right.
All right, so I want to make sure we put that out there. I don't tear no people down, but we got people been doing this for 20, 30 years, right? And that diet, what that did is one, it destabilized your blood sugar, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
shot up. And then when it shoots up, you got yours. So when it shoots up, what happens is your body has to overreact to bring it back down. So now you got this flutter of blood sugar up and down throughout the night. Then you drink alcohol, boom, you're doing this again, right? So when blood sugar is at a flutter of up and down, what happens is your body is creating fat at an abnormal rate because it's trying to convert this into something usable. So it's going to try to process, move all that extra stuff into the fat cells. And I'll explain fat cells next, but move it into the fat cells, right? Then at some point in time, it ain't got no more room to store, so your blood sugar just stays high, okay? And then your body has to dump chemicals in. I ain't going to bore you with big words to bring your blood sugar down. So that's when
No,
we
no,
crash.
no.
So what happens is when we do that, we crash. What happens? We eat more. So then we pick it back up.
Wow.
And then your body
Wow.
goes,
Right.
damn, man, this is too high. It makes you crash again. Then we eat more and we pick it back up, right? Throughout that
That's right.
time, when blood sugar is really, really high, right? And blood sugar is really, really low, the body's blood is acidic or very basic. So it's like the old school chemistry experiment. When you put the fat in the bleach, it breaks down over time. When you put the fat in the acid, it breaks down quick.
Mm-hmm.
Organic things die in extremely basic and extremely acidic environments. You got to be slightly basic. The pH needs to be slightly basic. Food can destabilize that. Medicine can destabilize that. I mean, you got to work at it, but you can. And so what happens is, this is why testosterone and diets like and people who have diets like this on a daily basis, testosterone utilization and testosterone and the body's ability to make testosterone go down. The adrenal glands, they can quit. We can look at things called adrenal fatigue syndrome. They just quit. The adrenals respond to things like that. The diet, they respond to diet and also environment. Like, if you got to run from something or something like that, like the fight or flight. But also sugar can trigger that. Things like norepinephrine are off the wall. This is why young kids who eat a lot of sugar, they're jittery because norepinephrine just tells you to move. So they're just like this, like this, like this. And it's a neurotransmitter, and it can be stimulated by a high sugar diet, a high carbohydrate diet. On top of that, then you just fill up fat cells. And what we know about fat cells is everyone has the same amount of fat cells they're born with, but they're just empty. Okay? It's like a gas tank. You still got to put gas in the tank. A truck has a bigger tank than a car, but you still got to buy the gas, right? So a person may have more fat cells than the other. What that means is they have a higher propensity to store fat, but you still got to put the fat in there. So this is where you got to know your body. Some people are like, man, I eat that, man. I'll blow up real fast because your body transports and converts fat really quick. So you just can't do that. But this is why I say we start destabilizing the body. And all of this means is you come into, and if y'all listening, Google metabolic syndrome. Behaviors like this create metabolic syndrome or hypokinetic disease. The biggest killer in the world, metabolic syndrome. Diabetes, heart disease, heart attack, stroke, certain cancers that are triggered by diet. I mean, they're killing us like crazy. And most of it comes from lifestyle. So it's one of the leading causes of type 2 diabetes, not type 1, type 2 diabetes. Because what happens is when the body is poisoned, when the body is broken down, except for trauma and disease, because that's a different story. Like if you develop some type of disease, you can have similar effects, but that's outside of your control. But when the body's broken down by the lifestyle, you can no longer digest sugar. You can't process it anymore. And when sugar builds up in the blood, it gets toxic. It starts eating up away at joints. They start cutting things off. You know, you got to now do insulin and stuff like that, man. It's just, you got to remember, like, the body is resilient, but it can also be sensitive.
I used to have the numb limbs, like my toes.
Yeah, okay. So you were on the cusp of it, right?
Yeah.
And
it was bad.
Simply, what we're seeing is changing body fat percentage. Another key point to listen to. Doesn't matter what you weigh, it matters about the composition. If we change body fat percentage, you actually can get away with a little bit more. That's the reason why you walking around and you did that, right? Yeah, you have some effects. Yeah, your headache and everything else. But when you have a higher muscle mass, you can just digest more nutrients than people who don't have a high muscle mass. So that's why sometimes they go, man, shit, man, my homie, man, he could do it, man. Because he's big as hell. He's very muscular. So what he's eating is being converted into fuel. You work in IT and all you do is sit down. You ain't got two muscles on your body. So you can't get away with
that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like the big truck against the car. The big truck needs more gas. So
that's right.
As you get in shape, I tell people eating gets easier because you get to eat a little bit more because your body's burning more. I never had anyone lose weight by having them eat less. I make them eat more, especially my ladies. I'm going to say this again for the ladies listening. My clientele is about 50-50. I train a lot of females, old to young. Every one of them, when they sign up with me, I say, you got to eat more. You eat more to lose. You got to eat more to lose. Feed the body the right way.
Now explain that because they won't understand that. Get into detail about it.
All right, so don't eat what Drew ate. Don't ever eat what he ate because that ain't going to help you. Don't have a day like that, all right? But eating productive fats, carbs, and protein. So an example, if this person eats meat, chicken, fish, beef, that you prepared. If you don't eat meat, then let's make sure we have some spinach, some lentils, avocado, some things like that. We can get a little bit of more protein out of. Let's start using our plant oils and things like that, so we can get your fats up. A lot of people do and don't like fruit. You don't have to eat fruit. You can get away with it, but you definitely should eat your vegetables. Definitely got to have your vegetables. So find some type of vegetable that you like. Fruit if you like to have it. And if you're a meat eater, then we can talk about the meats that work for you. If you're not a meat eater, then we got to talk about the plants that are going to help you get the fats that you need. But if you have what I say a balanced diet, eat organic if you can, but eat fresh. Definitely eat fresh, organic if you can. I understand things cost money and it's about food availability. I live in Florida. So it's easy for people in Florida to be like, you got to eat organic, everything. Yeah, because everything grows down here. But I'm from Ohio. And up north, vegetables are kind of hard to get by in the wintertime. So I get it. That's where the environment comes in, right? So what we want to do is, if you can eat basically a healthy diet that's fresh. Okay, at least fresh, meaning real meat that you had to prepare, real fruit that you had to cut up, real vegetables that you had to prepare, right? You need to eat more of that. If I give you more, you'll have more nutrients, so you'll heal faster. If you heal faster, you can train more. If you eat less, you got less nutrients, you don't heal as fast, you can't train as much.
That's
So
right.
that's why I did. I went around the way to explain it in depth, but that's what I say to them. The more nutrients you put in your system, and just because you're eating food does not mean you're eating nutrients. Remember that. Just because you're eating food does not mean you're eating nutrients. Okay.
Aaron, can you see the chat? You can see the chat.
Sometime I can go to the chat. Let me go to it.
Um, Kel C says he wants you to explain to the panel the benefits of exercising, overtaking pills to fix your ailments, and Miss Boxon wanted to know juicing vegetables and fruits versus eating them. What's the difference?
Um, First, so I'll do the vegetable. That's one easier. It just depends on what's easier for you. Like, um, I got a client, man. He works in construction, so he can keep a cooler like on site. So he has to juice his vegetables and keep them in the ice cooler because he ain't got time to eat the vegetable. He can get a quick drink and throw it back in the cooler, but he don't have time to eat. So hey, it works. The difference is when you juice the vegetable, you don't get any of the plant fiber, and I mean, it's better than nothing. You don't get the plant fiber, you just get the phytochemicals from the vegetable. That's cool too. Either or, it's a choice. Um, just make sure later in the evening when you get home, you get some. Try to have some actual vegetable roughage, so you get some fiber in your diet. And you don't need a whole bunch of fiber, but because I tell people, get sensitive about this. We're not cows. We don't have multiple stomachs. We can't process large amounts of vegetation at one time. So we do better with smaller amounts because our stomachs, we break it down cellulose, and once we pull all the nutrients out of it, we just let it go anyway. So that's fine. If you got to juice it, I say juicing it on the go during the day because most people work a 9 to 5, or 9 to 7, wherever it is, and it's a little bit easier to carry a cooler, hit a little drink here and there with some juices as opposed to stopping to eating the salad. So, what was the other question? No.
The
Oh,
benefits of exercising rather
so
than taking pills to fix your ailments.
when we talking about basic exercise, I ain't talking about getting those 6 pack squatting 500 or nothing. We're talking about basic exercise. Number one, it regulates body fat percentage. Once it regulates body fat percentage, uh, blood pressure, in most cases, except for hereditary cases, starts to regulate. It re-regulates itself. Uh, Simply because in order for body fat to go down, that means muscle mass went up. So we became more vascular. Our capillaries and veins became more productive. So now we're circulating blood a lot better. So blood pressure issues tend to go away. Number two, joint issues go away because there's more muscle around the joint and there's more muscle there to
Right.
help anchor with movement. The joint's not exposed to so much stress. So then joint pain goes away. So those two examples, like I said, in a non-hereditary case, increase in muscle mass in a basic level. So men being 19% or lower, women being 25% or lower. Doing those factors right there, we got you off cholesterol medicine. We got you off high blood pressure medication. So those things right there. Put muscle mass on the body and bringing your overall weight down without. And when I'm saying bring your weight down with maintaining your muscle mass or building your muscle mass. You don't want to be losing muscle mass. You want to either maintain it or build it. But bringing your weight down, maintaining or building muscle mass, the joints don't have as much stress. The feet feel better. I mean, think about all the weight you have on your body. Well, it's on your feet. So things like that.
I know.
So right there, we're off painkillers. Now we're dealing with shin splints and fibromyalgia. I'm sorry, plantar fasciitis and shin splints and ibuprofen and what they call Ranger candy for swollen joints and things like that. We're answering that question with those. Let's talk about a real question everybody care about: sex life. It gets better. Okay, couple things. And this is real life. This is a real trainer thing. Basic flexibility and basic strength. My little dude in the back.
He wants to pop up during this conversation.
Right.
Trying to get tools for later, huh?
Yeah.
Increase vitality. I mean, look, when you increase blood flow, we know what that increases, right? So we become a little more active with that. When you increase flexibility, okay, we can move better. We got better movement. We got better hip movement, right? When you got better hip movement, we know what that do, right? And
It do what it do.
to close that out, and this is so I want to give you a real life situation. Boy, get on out of here, man. I had a guy I worked with. I was like 20, and I did stretching with him, and he like, man, you know, big dude, in shape, everything. He pulled me to the side. Yeah, man, I need to talk to you, dog. And I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, man, I think I need some help stretching out, man. I said, okay, cool, man. What's going on? You know, you got some issues. I'm going through the generic assessment. He like, I'm all good, but you know, like I can't, you know, when I be ready to go, but I be locked up. And I'm like, what the hell does this mean? What you talking about, bro? He like, nah, bro, you know what? I'm with my old lady. I said, oh. He said, I'll be there. I'll be at attention ready to go. My back and my hamstrings be locked up, and I can't move. Now imagine this. We talking about real life to the fellas. Now your old lady staring at you because you can't do the thing because you inflexible. And then you out of shape, so you can't breathe. So I said to him, the same energy system you have sex with is the same energy system you do sprints with. So my man busted out his sprint intervals. And true story, so you know, this was at the Valley Fitness that was on on the south side of Indy. It's closed now.
Okay.
It was closed now. The Valley on south side of Indy. So you familiar with that, right? Almost in Greenwood and Whiteland.
Greenwood.
Yeah. So I worked there. So we had the track up there. So he worked on the sprint intervals and he stretched me 3 times a week. Loosen his hamstrings, loosen his back, increases VO2 max. I get a phone call at 3 a.m. He said, "What you doing?" I'm in college. I'm throwing a party. I said, "I'm throwing a party. You good, bro? What you need?" He goes, "Yo, bro, I was in there, bro, getting it in." And I'm like, "Oh, that's what's up." So I hear his wife go, "Who you talking to on the phone?" "My trainer." "Why you calling your trainer?" He like, "Man, let me call you back." I see that dude in the gym. He like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, but and we laugh, but that's an example of how being. And we didn't get him a 6-pack. We didn't get him ripped up. He wasn't squatting 400 pounds.
I bet that nigga was running. He was
Yeah.
sprinting his ass up.
And if you're familiar with the old valleys, they had tracks up there. They had tracks in the Valley Total Fitness. So he would sprint. He would sprint the track. And he started just like what you said earlier. He said, I was doing 2 sprints and walk 5 and 2 sprints and walk 5 laps. Then it was 5 and 2. And he just built himself up. But that's an example of basic fitness, right? He didn't get ripped. He didn't run a race or anything that affected his personal life, his home life. And for the fellas,
got a question for you in the chat. Willie Lewis Jr., he says, what would you recommend for me? I lost 15 pounds clean, but I want to lose 30 more within 3 months. I got a meet coming up in February.
Are you still losing weight? If you're still losing weight, don't change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ride that wave. Don't change it till you slow down. The worst thing you can do is change something that's working. If you're losing weight, you're feeling good, ride that wave. Yeah.
3 months to lose 30, he could do that. He could definitely do that.
Here's why. Here's what I say. Even if you don't get to 30, what if you change it and fuck it all up? And you gonna lose nothing, right? We riding the wave that's working. You may get 25, you may get 26, you may get 20, but you know what you're doing right now is working. The body will eventually adapt to what you're doing. You have to change it up, but wait till it adapts. Ride the wave. Ride the wave. Never change what's working. You may not get the results you want right then, but you're eventually going to get them. In my experience, I've ruined clients' journeys going, man, I got to change it. I got to change it. I got to change it. And I slow them down. And I put them behind. Now, I'll say, we're going to ride this wave. Measure yourself week to week. When you start to see the results slow down, then you make the change, but not until then.
You say measure. That actually leads into Miss Boxing's question. She want to know, when losing weight and or inches, can you control where you lose?
No, you can't. Just like you can't decide how you gain weight. You can't decide how you lose weight. That's called spot reduction. It just doesn't exist. And once again, that's not my opinion. There's a lot of clinical research on that.
Yeah, unless you go into the night.
That's a great question. That's a great question.
Man, there's people who advertise it and things like that, but You ain't gonna see no clinical discussions on that. You wouldn't, like I said, if you went to EBSCOhost or Google Scholar, any one of them spots, and you look up something from the exercise science department from Stanford University or from Nike or wherever, they'll tell you spot reduction is a lie. So, you ain't
And
gonna hear no. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I agree with that because when I was losing the bulk of my weight, the main exercises I was doing were squats, deadlifts. I was doing a lot
Hmm.
with my legs, but I'm losing everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But most of the big compound movements is what I think
And here's the
really
reason
brought the
why.
weight off.
To go back to that, and this is why I say, man, if you've ever seen my social media, a lot of them I try to post the exercise anatomy of the movement. A deadlift, you're using about 85 to 87% of all of your voluntary muscles to do one rep. A power clean, right? It's like 92.5% of all your voluntary muscle fibers have to fire every rep. This is why these compound movements are so effective. Like doing a bicep curl, cool, but we're only using the bicep. When you're doing a deadlift, right, or a squat and press, or a jump squat, all of your muscles are firing together to complete this movement. So the energy expenditure is higher. So the body utilizes more nutrients. That's why burpees, I don't give a damn how in shape you are. Burpees are hard, right?
Oh
Speed
man,
rope is hard. Sprinting is
Yep.
hard.
I hate that. I hate them.
Yep.
So, because what you know is, and actually, I'm paraphrasing Brandon Krause. He's a strength coach. He works in boxing with a lot of guys. You will never ever get to the point when you're using when we talk about these compound movements. You're never going to get to the point, or a lot of plyometric movements too, where you condition to the point where you don't get tired. Because as you get in better shape, you just become more efficient and you just work harder. Your output goes up. When we condition, we just learn how to understand and deal with fatigue. Our body physically learns how to respond to fatigue, and then cognitively, we start understanding fatigue more and we don't panic. That's the difference. But those
Mm.
movements are always going to be hard because if your body gets stronger, you're going to pull harder when you deadlift, right? So
Mm.
you're going to stay in the same situation. So
Hmm.
yes, the compound movements they keep the body firing, and that's why you have such great success. Once again, not because it's my opinion; it's just basic human anatomy and physiology. That's why I say, if you go and train, you got to know muscles. That's why that makes it easy.
Yeah.
That makes sense, man. Willie Lewis Jr. say he plateaued, so I'm guessing it's
Okay,
time to change up that workout.
man, what I would do, damn, if I could reach out to dude tomorrow or something, but man, if I had the time, we have to figure out what you're doing right now, and then create a program that's gonna basically get you to the goal, but the new movement's got to change. So an example I would give you: say you've been doing uh, low weight, high rep for 8 weeks. I would say go heavyweight, low rep for 4 weeks, but just make sure you use machines. Safer,
Mm. Mm.
you know. And now you like I give. So I'm giving you an example. So in a piss poor explanation, I got a guy doing 5 movements a day, 3 days a week. He's doing sets of 12 to 20, right?
Mm.
He says, all right, man, elbow's getting a little sore. I'm getting a little achy. I say, cool. All right. What we're going to do is now we're going to switch it up. I'm going to move you to the machines. We're going to do 12 sets of two. What? Yeah, 12 sets of two, but we're pushing at 90%.
Mm.
He said, oh, by the third set, he was pouring sweat. He only did 2 reps. Bang,
That's right.
bang, drop it down. It took him 4 minutes to now. At set 5, his recovery intervals were 4 minutes because in 2 reps at 90%, but we were smart and we were safe. We had him on a, I had him on a chest press on a machine. He was maxing himself out.
Right.
Now I understand that's heavy training, so we did that for 4 weeks. Then we went back to the low weight, high rep. We dropped that extra 18 pounds.
Wow.
Wow.
Simple change.
Well, Willie said he hasn't lost any weight since last week. He was at
Oh no, you good, bro?
1.5.
It's been a week, man. It's been a week.
Mm.
Ah, come on, man.
Yeah.
Gotta be patient. Gotta be
Here's what
patient.
happened, man. You were just burning and burning and burning, and you thought it was gonna stay like that. It slows down a little bit, man. You good? You good? If he went 2 to 3 weeks without it, then I would say something. That's all.
But Scrapbook said he up to 100 plus 4 sets. Is that healthy? You talking about bench press, scrapbook? You talking about bench press or squats or?
And I
Which
can
one are you
answer that
talking about?
question. It depends on the person. Depends on the person. I wouldn't do that with a new person. The guy I'm talking about, we've been training for 2 years. So yeah, but
Wow.
that's not something I would do with a new person. Like, and he
Oh,
about
he
that life.
punches.
Like he do the races, he do adventure races and stuff like that. Like he about that life, you know. So 99% of people I wouldn't do that with. I just want to give you an example because that was the latest one we just did. But yeah, for most people, no.
Oh. Kelsey says, thanks for the platform. This is right up my alley. I'm an exercise major and I work in a patient rehab hospital. Everything I learned today can. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good
That's what's
information,
up.
man.
That's what's up.
yeah,
What's up.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah. That's
saying? Kelsey, man, make sure you shoot me your email. You know what I'm saying? I get you on the show, man. Look,
yeah.
this is why I have Aaron on here. I'm no expert. That's why
And
I'm
you
gonna
know,
have expert.
she hey, that's the type of person I reach out to because we all can help because you never know. This is when I say the question of say I had that person in my contact, I hit them up. Hey, I got this guy complaining of this, and this, man. What do you think I should do? So a person who works in a clinic will be like, hey, don't touch him. He might have
Right.
this, and this. Okay, cool. Whew. All right, now I'll go back to the gym. Hey man, you might be messed up, man. You should go see somebody. That's why it's
Right.
good to bridge that gap. You want to have that. My clinical friend, I love them because they keep me out of trouble. They'll be like, hey, nah, don't do that. All right, yeah, you good. He's good. You know,
Right.
and
Right.
I mean, there's so many
Right.
times I say, look, I'm gonna go see you to this physical therapist. I know if they check you out, then you can come back. Like, so I like to keep
Mm-hmm.
that there. So anyone working patient care, I'm all about them type of people because they see the worst of the worst.
Mm.
And so they can help, but they got a lot of good information because, and now this is my opinion. In my opinion, we need to bring the fitness and the clinical information together because they can help each other and one can prevent the other. And
Right.
then the clinical information
Right.
can help the fitness people from making the wrong decision
Correct.
by simply
Why
saying,
is my house right now? Unbelievable.
that's good. Because I work in a chiropractic clinic too. So I do a lot of pre and post adjustment stretching as well.
Oh, Scrapbook said 100 push-ups, 4 sets. You are
Oh.
master, my man. I was
Uh,
keeping it light. I got the 45 for 45 going. The Scrapbook
Right.
on 100. He's shitting
That's
on me
uh
right now.
I'll tell you that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
I
do
mean,
100. I did
hey, if you
60
can
this
do it,
morning and I was hurt.
I ain't gonna lie, I
I
can't do
saw
100 no more. And I ain't trying to one up him, but when I was wrestling, once again, I was in college wrestling, I was a collegiate wrestler. I mean, we was doing 400 or 500 push-ups in practice, and just in the warm-up
yeah.
alone. But I don't go nowhere near that many no more because I had nightmares when I think about that many push-ups. So, I mean, but listen, if the elbow's okay, the shoulder's okay, and the back's okay, shit, do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Right.
You gonna, hey,
Willie Lewis.
I guarantee when he does that, he is maxing out his heart rate. He is getting a cardiovascular advantage.
That's right.
That's a perfect example of understanding that cardio is a process, not an action. Anytime you stimulate your body above its resting heart rate, you're doing cardio. Plain and
That's right.
simple. And he's probably getting higher thresholds
That's
than what
right.
he would run simply because he might be better at doing push-ups than he is at running. So shit, to get them push-ups, man.
True.
Yeah, do it.
Willie Lewis, you in military? He said, military brother, I'm hungry. Yeah. Yeah. Military, man. Military workouts. You know, I'm gonna do a show with cats that was in the military and get their workouts on. I know BFTB. He
Man,
was in the military.
I had a ton of teammates who was in the
Yeah.
military, man. And whew,
Yeah,
I was in
that's
the I was in the army for 3 years. Yeah.
oh man.
so. Yeah, so you know. So you know. Um, I knew a guy when I used to go to an old gym. This guy, I had to ask him, man. He was running one day, and it was like 100 degrees outside, and he barely had 3 sweat beads on his forehead. I said, "Yo, what species are you, man?" You know. Turns out dude was a SEAL. So
Yeah.
I'm like, that's another level of athleticism right there, man. He's a SEAL, and he did decathlons in his spare time. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like
You know, in your
in
spare time?
hey, in the sport of wwrestling, man, I probably about 60% of my teammates were all in the military. And probably about 30% were combat veterans. Because like they pluck a lot of wrestlers. A lot of I don't know, it's just a big thing. You see a lot of wrestlers and military is a real strong sport. There's real strong correlation. A lot of them were Marines, Special Forces, and a few of them were Navy SEALs, man. And they were just a different breed. And wrestling tough, but they was a different type of wrestler. They just was a different breed, even on the mat. You know what I mean? Like, man, bro, he going places I can't go. My man, he willing to die for this. So it's a
Man,
different breed. I respect them
it's
boys, man.
something that when the cats was up here for the Wilder Brazil slaughter, because it wasn't in a fight. We was all out eating, and BFTB, I was telling him, about my workout stuff. I said, yeah, man, I just got my mile down to 8 minutes. I just got it back to 8 minutes. He said, yeah, they had us running 6-minute miles, and I said, wait a minute,
Yep.
you run a 6-minute mile?
Yeah, bro.
He said, yeah, military. I said, oh my God, just took the wind right out my sails, man. 6-minute
Yeah.
mile?
Yeah, because if like when we do our PT test, or when I was in the Army, we do a PT test. If you didn't make it to the mile marker by 6.5, you ain't gonna pass because you got to do 2 miles.
Oh
You
my
know what I'm saying?
God.
So yeah, you can't just do a nice little jog. You gotta do maybe 3/4 speed. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go 3/4. They make sure you when you do the 2 miles, you run it. And I used to get it done, and I was not the fast one. I used to get mine done between 14. I get 2 miles done in between 14 and 16 minutes.
Man, what's crazy is you saying that. I
Yep.
remember that, man, because about 85% of my wrestling coaches throughout my life were all military veterans. Like my high school coach is a Vietnam vet. Man, we had to do that same damn thing. It was wintertime. I'm outside running.
Hmm.
It's freezing cold. It's January in Ohio, and he like, look, man, if you can get through this, you can get through a wrestling match. I'm looking at him. This motherfucker crazy, man. Like, I remember when I was in college. It was January. I had my teammate on my back. Later when I get done, I had my teammate on my back walking up the stadium steps. Our stadium is open. Like I'm walking up the steps with him on my back from 5 to 6 a.m. Hold on, boy, get on out of here, man. Come on, sit down. Let me see. What you do to it? Hold on, this dude bleeding. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on.
Hold on.
But yeah,
Miss Boxing, you did over 20 years in the Army. Am I reading that right? Miss Boxing said she did 20 years in the Army. It definitely helped. Wow.
yeah, hey, man. Like on the PT test, man. We had the 2 mile run. Well, now mine. Okay, the PT test was you got to do. We did push-ups first, sit-ups second. Or I can't remember, but you got 2 minutes to do as many push-ups you can do. And if you
Right.
I don't remember the number, but it had to be at least 40 something. You know what I'm saying? Sit-ups, and then it was 40 something push-ups as a minimum, and then the 2 mile run. I believe it was like you had to get it done in like 16, like just a little over 16 minutes, or you failed. And if you fail, you got to go to special
Wow.
PT. Yeah, so yeah,
Wow.
that's just so
Yo,
everybody.
Miss Boxing is a vet. I didn't know that.
I just saw that.
Holy cow.
Well,
Salute Miss
Miss
Boxing.
Boxing.
20, man.
Wow.
20 years.
Yeah, Willie Lewis Jr., you better off doing the waist measurement at this point. That's what I'm doing. I barely check the scale, man.
Oh, Kels, that's
I
what's
barely
up.
check
She's serious over there. She's definitely,
my goodness.
She were a cardiac
That's real
patient, brain
talk.
injury. Yeah, that's serious stuff right there. So, Kels, you're an example of somebody that I call to for referrals. When I come across somebody and I don't really know what's going on. And that happens a lot. I don't know it all. I'll be like, man, I don't know, bro. Give me a week. Give me a couple of days. You're somebody I reach out to because that really helps me as far as like understanding really what's going on. There's some stuff that I come across like I heard somebody who had
Child.
Cushing syndrome. I never heard of it before. I had to reach out to some of my clinical homies and what's Cushing syndrome? You know, like so you just that's definitely somebody I stay in contact with and reach out to. I have about 30 of them people. I'm always bothering them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's real talk, man. Because I'm about to get my personal trainer's license. I just need all the information that I can get because I don't want
Yeah.
to, you know,
I'm
work
on.
anybody out because everybody want to run to the gym with me now. So I'm like, you know what?
I'm live.
I mean the
You know what
biggest
I'm
thing
saying?
is
I'd rather do it correctly.
the
You know
biggest
what I
thing is
mean?
Yeah.
you've inspired them. You've inspired them. I mean, I know some trainers, man,
That's
they really
important.
great. They smart, they intelligent, they smarter than me, they got more degrees than me, but they suck at training because they couldn't inspire a damn fruit fly. They can't, they don't have it. At the end of the day, you gotta be able to inspire somebody. You gotta, and the thing is they can't communicate. I know some guys that are so
Right.
smart, right? But they just can't communicate with people.
Mm-hmm.
So they learn all these big ass words and everything else. And then when they sit down with people, I mean, imagine this. Imagine your dad, my dad, your mom, my mom, and this person using all these big anatomical words, and they're like, all right, they're checking out, right? Or just being able to say, hey, man, I know what you're going through. I'm gonna help you out. This is what we're gonna do. You got to know the science in your head, and you got to be able to break it down to them. And you ain't got to know all the science. You just, I mean, once you know what not to do, you're doing good. You know what I mean? And then you can build from there because you have a relationship with this client coming up. You ain't got to do everything in like that day. You got sessions, you got time. So you're gonna learn them and
That's
they
right.
gonna learn you. But you gotta have your
Hmm.
personality. You gotta have charisma because this person is embarrassed. They're not motivated. They're scared. And if you got this guy like, all right, 6, 4, 6, your diet sucked, you didn't do anything good, right? Right? First off, I ain't paying you, and then two, you make me feel like shit when I come in here, right?
Hmm.
Or you got somebody who slap, what's up, man? Hey, before we work out, how's your day? How you feeling? Everything all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. You still a person. So you got that vibe. They don't look, they look at you like he kind of big. I don't want to ask him no questions. Then they ask you a question and they find out, damn, he nice. Because what you gonna run into this big motherfucker, I ain't asking him shit, man. No, I ain't asking him nothing, right? Motherfucker been and choke me. Then you like, hey, what's up, brother? No, I'll help you out. I bet you if they
Right.
don't tell you, people walk away and be like, yo, man, he was actually nicer than I thought.
Right.
Because it's intimidating. You know what I mean? So that's why I say
Right.
when you got
Right.
that open spirit, that's why people coming to you. Because they're like, man, he a cool, no, he a cool dude. I bet you they do this. That big motherfucker in the gym, no, I ain't asking him shit, man. I ain't working out with him. No, he cool. I talked to him last week. I was shocked too, man. Because they got that, they got that, and it's not nothing to do with you usually as a trainer. It's usually them being intimidated.
That's right.
So just being
That's
I
right.
open,
see that.
man.
That's
Like
right.
that's the
That's
biggest
right.
thing. You can learn all the other stuff. We can go. You can do certifications. You can go to school. You can go to class. You can read books. But you can't get nobody the personality. It's
That's
can't.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Yo, salute. Boxing conversation with Reggie Owens. Yo, salute. I see you, brother. Gil Cole, salute. I see you. Gigi, what it do, fam? Yo, man. This is what we do, man. LDBC, man. We getting on that
Yeah, I like
health,
it.
get on that health knowledge, man.
Yeah,
Get on that
we
health
gotta get
knowledge, man. We
we
got to
gotta get
stay
ourselves
healthy,
right.
man. We got to get right, man. Especially in the minority community, man. You know, it's a lot easier to eat like shit and get full,
Yeah.
but trade-off is we die at least 20 years before we supposed to. You know,
Yeah, and
all of this stuff that's easy accessible, man. It's not good for us, man. It's really not good for
Yeah.
us. And you
Thanksgiving
know, as
coming up.
Thanksgiving coming up, but as
Yeah.
men in particular, and I mentioned this last week, I believe, we're heads of the household. You know what I mean? So we lead by example. You know, so I try to. You know, I do the best I can. You know, I'm not perfect. Still not perfect. You know, but I share that story of how I went out that day because there's a lot of brothers and sisters that do the exact same thing, if not worse.
Hmm.
And we have to we have to be mindful of what we do, what we
And
intake, man, because a lot of this is poisonous, man.
I'm gonna steal this from a professor. He said, man,
Iceberg nerd, what up?
he said, if you treat your food like you treat your money, you spend it wisely. I said, okay. He says, now, if you knew you had to write $1,000 check at the end of the month, you would budget for it. I said, well, yeah. He says, all right, treat your food the same way. What are the
There it is.
allowances that you want to have and plan around that? So I'm gonna be real. Y'all ready? I'm gonna show y'all. So y'all ain't lying. Brewski right there, right? Because I told one dude, he said, you don't drink beer right here, right? Now I know I want to have me, I have a couple beers every night. So I can't be in the fast food line. I gotta make sure I eat good. I gotta meal prep.
I'll
Or
talk to you in a little bit.
the downside is I got to go to a health food restaurant, right? Now that shit costs money, so I like to meal prep but I told myself this, all right, if I don't meal prep, then I'm gonna pay the price and got to go to the health food restaurant. It's gonna cost me an arm and a leg, but what that'll do is that discipline to keep my ass cooking. But I ain't gonna eat no junk food because I know when I get home, I want to have me a couple beers. I want to have me a drink if I want to. That's my thing. I want to go
Mhm.
home. I have a little scotch and chill, drink a couple beers and chill. And people say, how can you do that and not get fat? Because usually what comes with the behavior of this is the deep fried wings, the fried pickles, everything else, and drinking
Right.
36 of them. You know what I'm saying? Have you two or three, relax. But what I do other things like have a good meal and then have your beer.
Right.
We got to just watch out. What is it that you want to have? What are the allowances that you want to have and plan around it? You know, before hey,
Right.
the homies be like, come to the club with me. I very rarely go, but I'm all right, I go with you. I eat at home because they
Mm.
always
There you
go
go.
out to eat and then they go to the club. We gonna go out and have a couple drinks anyway, so I'm gonna eat at home. I'm gonna eat this kale salad. I'm gonna eat this kale chicken salad at home with sweet potatoes. Because in about
That's
2 hours,
right.
I'm gonna be drinking a whiskey anyway, right? So, all right, well, I know I won't go out and do my thing, so I am gonna watch how I eat. Little things like that start adding up. You know, I know me and my
Yeah.
old lady or me and my son, we go out and have a cheat meal on Friday, so I gotta eat clean Monday through Thursday. That way, when I go
Gotcha.
on Friday, I'm enjoying myself.
That's right.
Yeah,
But this raw,
I call that the 90-10 rule. I feel
yeah,
like
man.
90% of what you do is what the result's gonna be. I have no proof of that. That's just what I feel.
Hey, and guess what? Your proof is
No, but
you
that makes
living
sense.
proof. It worked. It worked for you, right?
Right.
And that's the
Yeah,
thing. Somebody
I'm on
may have
for it.
Yeah.
85-15, some may be 80-20, some may be 90-10, but give yourself some leniency, right? And then that
Yeah.
way, you can live a little. That way, it's not like a prison of fitness. People are like, man, I know it must suck being like you, man. You can't do nothing. You don't do nothing. I'm like, man, bro, I drank 6 beers last night. You said, how you do that? I mean, but I also didn't go to Wendy's either, though. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
And Golden Crust and White Castles
Yeah,
and the pizza
like,
shop
yeah, like
and
I didn't
cinnamon
do all
toaster.
that. I said, now
Yeah.
I have my steamed salmon and my asparagus and everything else I'm eating in the middle of the day because when I get home, I'm gonna have me a couple beers with the homies and watch the fights.
That's
So
what's up.
just
Yo,
spend it
Willie
wisely.
Lewis Jr. said, what do you think about intermediate fasting?
It's hard to do. Um, I don't recommend it for a person who's new because it's too sensitive. You could have a lot of success with it or fuck yourself up. So you just make sure you're about that life because you have to be very detail oriented when you do intermittent fasting.
Right.
Like you can if you want them people who kind of slip up because it's time sensitive. Everything has to be
Yeah.
done the right way. You don't have a lot of room for mistakes because you have a huge
Right.
window of not eating. When you do eat, it has to be balanced. It has to be correct, or you can crash your whole day. So I don't do a lot of intermittent fasting with new clients because typically new clients they're struggling with just coming to the gym. I don't want to put them on such a extreme regimen.
Right.
Now I do intermittent fasting, but I got used to it from wrestling, and then I got used to it from my work day and things like that. So it does work. The science on it will tell you that it does work, but it's all about the adherence to the person. And I don't recommend it for people who just are starting that fitness journey. The same thing with keto, because that may come up. I personally don't like the ketogenic diet. That's my personal opinion. Scientifically, we know it works, but
We,
my personal opinions, I don't like it. So
I'm gonna do a show on that. I'm
yeah,
gonna do a show on that, and I'm gonna have you back for that show specifically because I have a lot of questions about that, and I'm not super educated on keto, but I'm gonna do
yeah.
some research, and I'm gonna have you back
Yeah, once you
specifically
get the
for that.
date, and you know what? Once you get the date, and to be fair, guys, once you get the date, I'll be able to do more research than I've done before, and my opinion may change. But I just tell people my personal opinion. I want to let people know when I'm saying my personal opinion or when I'm saying facts. That was me saying my personal opinion of keto. The
Right,
facts are we know
right,
it does have weight loss. I'm not aware of the long-term effects of ketogenic diets.
right, right. To me, well, I'm not gonna give my opinion on it. I have my personal opinion on it, but I'll just say that over the last few decades, there's always a fad that comes and it goes and it comes and it goes. Some work, some are long term, depending on the person and how they apply it. Some of it they just fade away. They're still
Yeah.
around.
Hmm.
This keto thing is just the latest thing, but I'm not going to shit on it because I'm not completely educated on it. I'm
Yeah.
going to do some
And
education, get my education on it.
what we say about what we do know the structure, it's very similar to the low carb, high fat diet. The difference is it's just no carbs.
Mhm.
So it's tailoring on the same system. It's just that the research, when you talk about the low carb, high fat guys, they say no
Right.
having no carbs is dangerous, and they explain that. Ketogenic guys say they found the way around it, and we just have to. Time will tell, and so will the science.
I
But
found
that's why I
myself.
say it's just. I
I,
think it not because it's just. It's not. Imagine if one of you guys' mother came to see me. She's never been in shape. Your grandmother, they've never been in shape, and I give them one of the hardest diets to manage. It
Mhm.
just it just doesn't seem applicable to most people.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
yep,
Yo,
yep.
Kenneth Johnson, you're welcome, man. This is how we contribute to the LDBC, man. This is what we do, man. This is what we do, man. This is the health aspect. You know, Black Fight Fan gave me the blessings. He told me to go ahead and do it. Me and Corey, this is what we doing, man. This is how we doing it, man. But I ain't gonna keep everybody on. Um, Aaron, let everyone know how they can find you.
All right. So it's on Facebook, Aaron Brooks. Yeah, you'll just look up Aaron Brooks. I'm in South Florida. So you might see a tag of Pure Life Fitness. It's PURLI. So it's Pure PURLIFE Fitness. That's the gym I work at. It's in Delray Beach. I also work at a chiropractor's clinic called My Body Works. It's in Delray Beach as well. On Instagram is exercise underscore science underscore 561. Man, add me, man. I'm always adding people. I run the page, both of those pages, just as a spew of science. That's it, man. Get occasional joke here and there, but it's just a spew of science. Basic explanation of exercises. I try not to get too wordy with it. I try to make it, in plain English.
That's
That's
what's
what's
up,
up.
man. Everybody go to that gram, man. There's a lot of detailed information on there, man. A lot. Know what I mean? Corey, how they can find you?
Yeah, I'm mainly on Instagram, New Fat Boy Fitness. That's NUFATBOI, New Fat Boy Fitness. And you can find me on on YouTube at the same tag. I'm starting to do more videos on my YouTube channel. I want to build that up. So subscribe, everybody.
That's what's
And
up.
when I come to India, I
Me,
gotta
I know
holler at
you.
you because I visit up there a lot. Oh, I'm gonna start visiting up there a lot. I ain't been see the homies in a while.
And that's
So,
what's up, man. Come on
what
through,
side of
man.
town you on? What side of town you on?
I'm far east side, man. I'm way out here. Far
Okay.
east, like Oak Landing area.
Yeah. I used to manage the LA Fitness on the east side in East Washington.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
I
Okay.
go to the one I go to is on Pendleton Pike.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
Yep.
familiar. Hey Drew, I've been
Yep.
doing
Yep.
this for a while, man. I've been
Yo,
around.
bro, I'm telling you, I will travel. We all got to get together and do a session and just go
Hey,
do a
yes,
live or something, man.
yes.
I'm with that.
Yeah. I gotta come up
I'm
there to
with
New York.
that.
I gotta come to New York. I ain't really like
Yeah,
I've been
man.
through New York. I gotta come there. I want to see that, man. They
Yeah,
said New
me
Yo,
York
man,
is
too.
y'all come
somewhere.
through here, man. I'll show y'all everything, man.
But I ain't coming up to
I'll show y'all the
nobody.
steps.
I ain't coming to nobody's spot in the wintertime. I had enough of that. I ain't doing that. No, I'm not. No.
I'll
No.
show y'all the steps where they filmed that Joker scene in the Joker movie that everybody
Yeah.
want to come see now. All of a sudden.
Summertime though.
Yeah.
That is
I
not the
ain't
best
coming in the
neighborhood at
winter.
all, man.
I ain't coming in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all come down here in the winter. I ain't going up.
Yeah, it get a special kind of cold out here.
Hey
It get a
man,
special kind of cold.
I'm from Ohio. I ain't
But
even
I ain't
gonna
gonna
tell
hold
you.
everybody. I am
Yeah.
Drew Titan. You can
Yeah.
find me at Drew Titan on the gram, and you can find me here on YouTube at Drew Titan. We are LDBC Strong. We are one family. And like I told y'all, man, when sharks stop swimming, they die. So we all got to be sharks.
Got
So
to.
everybody move.
I dog. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.
That's what's up, man. You did it again.